Namaskar viewers, hello and welcome to another edition of Know Your MP, the show that brings you closer to the people shaping India's parliamentary journey. With us today is a legal icon whose name is synonymous with the pursuit of justice. For decades, he stood as a voice of the victims, a defender of justice and a firm believer in the rule of law. From handling some of India's most complex and sensitive criminal cases to upholding the faith of an entire nation, he has set benchmarks in public prosecution. Today, he brings the same integrity and dedication to what we call the temple of democracy as a nominated member of parliament. It gives me immense pleasure and privilege to welcome on the show today Padma Shri, Mr. UJJWAL Nikam. He's a nationally admired legal luminary who's made an enduring impact not just on India's criminal justice system, but is now also a member of parliament, bringing with him a whole lot of experience and inspiration for youngsters. Mr. Nikam, thank you for joining us on the program. Welcome to Sansad TV.
Thank you, Teena ji.
Thank you once again for joining us. Let's begin the conversation by understanding from you about how do you look at this new responsibility. You've spent decades in the temple of law. Now you are a member of parliament. How do you see this added sense of responsibility from a renowned public prosecutor to now a member of parliament?
Frankly speaking, it's a totally new field for me because I'm working right from the beginning. After passing the law examination, I'm appearing and fighting against the dreaded criminals in the court of law on behalf of the victims. So when I was nominated by the President of India and when our Honorable Prime Minister has informed me, really I was delighted. No doubt, my mission right from the beginning is for our country. And I have tremendous faith that those people who serve for the country, they are my idols. And when the Prime Minister himself had called me on the earlier day, I was a little bit shocked. And he said that, Mr. Nikam, we are giving a new responsibility and the President of India is recommending your name as a member of Rajya Sabha. And now I enter in this democracy temple. This is totally new for me. On the first day, there was a discussion on Operation Sindoor. I was very carefully and calmly and coolly listening all the sides, opposition side, ruling party side. They are opposing, they are alleging what is great in Operation Sindoor. Our people were saying, yes, why the Operation Sindoor was performed. Then immediately I was reminded 1993 bomb blast case. You see, in that case, also the role of Pakistan was involved. I was representing prosecution side. I was working as a special public prosecutor. But to my surprise, that Pakistan side has never come on the light. I don't want to discuss the reason at this juncture. I don't want to abuse or make any allegation against any party. But that is the truth. Again, in the attack of 2008, the role of the Pakistan was obvious there. But this time, what I notice, the importance of Operation Sindoor, that our rulers had decided that the people who hatch criminal conspiracy, the perpetrators who are behind the terror attack of Pahalgam, must be taught a great lesson. See, as a student of law, when I was minutely examining all these facts chronologically, then I found, yes, what we have done in Operation Sindoor, that was appreciated everywhere. Even the Pakistan did not make an allegation that India has attacked on us. No. Some people have raised some objection, I can understand. But this is the beauty of our country. And more I like it, that when our PM has deployed the member of the parliament to the various countries consisting of various parties, advocating our side, representing the truth, representing the bare facts before the whole world. Again, that is a great work. So as a now member of the Parliament, Rajya Sabha, upper house. I'm more concentrating on how we can strengthen our laws.
That's right.
Especially to extradite the criminal and to make certain suggestions in the laws, criminal law, especially my interest in the criminal law. But at the same time, I would like to see that how we can enhance the image of our country. That is the important mission. Now, it will, of course, the time will prove it, but I'm working on it. But at the same time, I have not abandoned my all cases which are being conducting. I am also in Mumbai, in Maharashtra, in every district, because people mix my demand. And I am an antibiotic of the state government at present.
That's why I didn't ask you about the transition, because it's not a transition from one to the other.
Yeah.
It's actually shouldering an additional responsibility given the wisdom and the experience that you bring with you. You've already spoken to us about how you wish to contribute to parliamentary discourse. Do you have any ideas in mind or something that you would want to prioritize, especially when it comes to ensuring justice delivery, strengthening justice delivery mechanisms in the country? In recent years, we've seen a lot of reformative measures undertaken by the government, but how effective do you think these mechanisms have been going forth, especially when we talk about access and affordable justice? Where should we put the focus more on?
Teena ji, frankly speaking, we have legislated new enactment also, that is Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita and Bharatiya Saksha Adhiniyam and etc. But your question pertains to, can we legislate certain new things in our laws? See, people's outcry is delay in judicial system, delivery justice, delay. Secondly is in extradition process. See, I'm really thinking, you see, this criminal fugitive, they commit a serious crime in our country and they ran away. Then we send the extradition notice and all these things goes on. And when the foreign court assess our evidence collected by our investigating agency, the foreign court assess our evidence on the basis of their law. Prima facie, I am of the opinion that this is totally incorrect approach, because ultimately that criminal fugitive is going to be tried in our country. So I am working on it. How can we make certain radical changes in it? And there are certain other changes also in the law, but I am studying, and let's see how far I get an opportunity to open it.
Absolutely. It's that kind of experience that will help us bring about those changes that you've spoken about. You've been part of some of the most high-profile criminal cases that we've seen in our time. Tell us about how those experiences have shaped your understanding of justice, but also of society.
Your first question, how I came in this system. I was rather reluctant to join this legal profession, but my father had a strong desire I should become a lawyer. And thereafter, I decided to appear on behalf of the victims, because I'm coming from a small area, that is Jalgaon. It is 400 kilometers from Mumbai. And when I started practice in Jalgaon, I found that there are big criminal goons. They used to commit very serious crime. So I thought that people must scare of me. These criminal goons, they are committing atrocities in the broad daylight. So I thought that I should become the public prosecutor. I became the public prosecutor. Then logical thinking is then important in our life. You see, you can acquire knowledge from various sources, but so far as the wisdom is concerned, that you have to develop. Because knowledge is to know the tomato is a fruit, but wisdom not to include in a fruit salad. So this is a slight thin distinction between knowledge and wisdom. So if you can apply your wisdom to your knowledge, then you can successful in any field. That is my personal funda. And when I came here in Mumbai, then I found that the people are rather scared of the criminals. So I made some bold statements, so that witnesses get some courage to speak truth in the court of law. Now in the temple of the democracy, I had decided, what my conscience permits me, that I am going to speak. What is the truth that I must say. But at the same time, I had to see that how to bite the image of our country. That is the most important thing. So let us see.
It's often said that truth comes with a cost. In the profession, the career that you've had, and you've handled such sensitive cases also, were there any challenges that you faced? I'm sure you did. And if you would like to speak about some of these challenges, how you dealt with them, how you came out strongly out of it.
See, there are many challenges. See, it is not only one challenge. So recently, I would tell you, after execution of the Pak terrorist Ajmal Amir Kasab, myself and the 3 members of the government of India's officials visited Islamabad. And we asked the pinpoint question, it's the 4 members official delegation, why you did not arrest the perpetrators, the main perpetrators, right. That is the founder of Lashkar-e-Toiba, Hafiz Saeed and Zakir Ahmed. Their stock answer was, where is the evidence? India has not shared us evidence. So I was shocked after hearing their answer. I told them that criminal conspiracy was hatched behind the terror attack of 20th November on your soil. Still you are asking the evidence. It is for you to collect the evidence. Then I came back. The main question was before me, how to prove the criminal conspiracy was hatched on the soil of Pakistan. Then I examined David Headley through video link. See, David Headley, who had visited Mumbai prior to terror attack of 26 November, he took the photographs of the targeted places. And after the attack also, he visited Mumbai. So in a one way, he was an accused in the terror attack of case of 26 November. But he entered into an agreement, that is plea bargain agreement, it is in US called. He entered into a plea bargain agreement with the US authority and he was sentenced for 35 years by Chicago Court of US. In plea bargain agreement, there was an important clause that he will give evidence in India or in Pakistan, but he will not be transferred either of these 2 countries. So I have decided to use this. I floated this idea. My senior police cop, of course, they are right in a way. They opposed this idea. They told me that Mr. Nikam, he is an accused. How can we turn him as our witness? That was a really challenging task before me. Then I told them, you see, we will pardon him, but we will take his evidence. Otherwise, in any case, he is not going to come back to India for facing any trial.
Right.
Set a thief to catch a thief. This is a practical wisdom. So ultimately, the Maharashtra Chief Minister, I must praise him here. You see, political will is a very important thing.
That's right.
I floated this idea with Mr. Devendraji Fadnavis, who was the Chief Minister that time. He liked this idea. He said that, okay, what type of assistance do you require? Then I asked him, kindly I would like to discuss with Mr. NSA, Ajit Dovalji. Then I had a discussion with him. Then he also agreed. Then I flown to US. I went to visit the Chicago court. Ultimately, it was agreed that David Headley will give evidence. I took his evidence. And David Headley had given a sensitive revelation in his evidence. It is not only oral testimony, but with written documentary proof, that is the email correspondence which was exchanged between the operatives of Lashkar-e-Toiba as well as David Headley. Or he had asked in one email, I still remember, he was asking his Lashkar operative, कि बड़ा चाचा का क्या होगा? Then there was a reply from operative, don't worry, nothing will happen, it's an eyewash. So I asked him, to whom you are referring Bara Chacha? Then he told me, who? David Headley told me, it is the Hafiz Saeed. They were Hafiz Saeed, Chota Chacha, Zakir Rahman Lakwi. So all this abbreviation, we take it in way. And we send it the whole evidence recorded this David Headley to the Pakistani authority. They did not act. Thereafter, Pakistan did not make any complaint that India has not shared any evidence. We have shared the evidence. So, what I would like to emphasize from this one fact, that if you have a strong will and especially political will, what we had seen in Operation Sindhu, what I have personally observed and seen insofar as the Kasab matter, this is because of the strong will and strong desire to fight unanimously against the culprits of the country.
That's true. You've lived each of this journey. We've only seen it through trials. We heard you often on television explain to the people of the country what the status of the trial was and where we stood in terms of the evidences and everything. But behind the scenes, you were living it moment by moment. You were handling these challenges so well. Today, maybe you are narrating that story with that a little smile on your face because you recall that we succeeded in what we wanted to do. But back then, when you were living it moment by moment, not knowing what the conclusion will be, what the next step will be, how did you handle that stress? And I ask you as a layman because each time when we are students, we prepare for exams, we are nervous. Even today when I prepare for an interview, I am nervous, I get jittery. You were preparing for such big events, such big trials. How did you take control of the emotion and the stress that was going through?
See, I learned one small funda, and that is, we call in logic as a syllogism in logic. One has to develop that habit of drawing irresistible inferences. How to draw the irresistible inference? This syllogism logic says all men are mortal, all kings are men. These are the universal truth. So therefore, irresistible inference is all kings are mortal. All men are mortal, all kings are men, and therefore all kings are mortal. So law appreciates. If one will develop this idea of drawing the irresistible inference, while studying the matter, while fighting against the criminals, see, I had developed myself, firstly to read and understand what are the facts in a particular case, even in a day-to-day life. Then we have to consider from the different two angles. See, we must introspect ourselves. If you tell your one mind will say whether this is possible, you have to ask to other mind. If it is not possible, why it is not possible? What are the obstacles? How to overcome this? And especially one should not worry or have any fear in the mind while doing a good thing. See, when I will go and walk in the court, all the criminals, they got up and stand up and said, Namaste Dada, Namaste Dada, Namaste. As if I am a Don, of course, law Don. So this type of respect that you had to command. And I must tell you very frankly, I am born in the Hanuman Jayanti. So nothing worry, nothing, no fears. So I would like to tell you to your viewers also, that if you are very clear in your idea, and if you have the honesty, then nobody will going to stop you. But at the same time, you have to be very humble, you have to be very respectful of the others also.
You've been serving as the legal don in the city of the underworld dons. Did that ever threaten your practice? Did you get threats from the underworld? Have you revealed that part of the story?
Let me, I don't want to divulge such threats part to your viewers, because by disclosing all the, I am in the Z category security, number one.
That's right.
Number two, but quite apart, when I am telling you openly what has happened, what I am doing, see, I have the guts. See, I am the firm believer that legal sentence will not change the criminal. What then, how the criminal will be changed? I firmly believe that if we will give the conscious feeling to the criminal that, look, you have this good qualification, but you lost this good qualification. You lost because of this your criminal act. I am giving one example also, Abu Salim. He was brought from the Portugal. When I saw him, I was shocked. A smart young boy, married with one film actress. How that she was allured by him? That was the question before me. I asked him, very flatly I asked him. So he was looking at me. I looked at him, look. he realized I am going to appear against him. Then the story is different, but I am not going to take much time on that. But I told Abu Salim, your father was a lawyer practicing in Uttar Pradesh, and you have turned to this criminal side, working with the noted criminal gangsters. So this type of pinching, this type of repentance, because of my constant talking with him, I never scared of any criminal. I always talk with the criminals just to understand their psychology. I believe that psychology. And see, after some time when I was sick, his fellow criminal told him ki Nikam sahab bimar gir gaye. So he sent one letter from the jail appreciating my services, though he was convicted by the court because of me. I argued against, he was been sentenced for life imprisonment. He sent a letter. Today I brought that letter also. I will show it to you after the show is over. And in that letter, he appreciated my services, saying that Sir Nikam sahab ab bimar gaye, bahut bura ho gaya.
So let me take the opportunity to ask another question about, you've had such a demanding, flourishing career from 1993 to 2611. You've been the face of public prosecution. How then, despite all the fame, you've remained rooted to public commitment? What motivates that commitment? What makes you the kind of person that you are?
See, I'm that way very soft-hearted. If I feel that injustice is going on, then immediately I rise to oppose that injustice. So whatsoever it may be. This is number one. Secondly, when I decided to enter into politics, of course not in politics, but when I accepted the member of the Rajya Sabha, that time really I was in dilemma what to do, whether to say yes or no. But ultimately my mind has convinced me that this is a temple of a democracy. I was working since a long time in a temple of law, so I must work here. So that is the reason behind it.
A lot of youngsters are inspired by you. Is there anybody that has been your inspiration ever since you grew up, and in the manner in which you've conducted yourself in your career, in your personal lives? Who has been your inspiration?
My father, he was a barrister. He worked for a lot. My mother, she was a freedom fighter, and she was telling me right from the stories of the Shivaji Maharaj and how we got the Swarajya and all these things. So she really inspired me. My father was a very disciplined guy, and he used to wash his own clothes by himself. And though he was a barrister, but he was very down, he was very simple, and he was correcting me at every point of time. If I commit a mistake, he used to tell me, this is wrong. So mistakes to be rectified and not to be ratified. So he used to tell me, see, to commit mistake is a human nature, but to repeat it again, it's a foolishness. So you have to be very careful. See, at some time while conducting cases against the criminal, see, I also at some time I use very rough language also. But immediately my second mind alert me, no, this is not good. So immediately I am down. I tried to convince that person, okay, this has happened. So one has to develop, one must realize firstly what mistake I have committed. If you realize yourself that you are committing mistake, you have committed mistake, then automatically your mind stands.
So we know you as the renowned public prosecutor, now the parliamentarian, but outside of work, how are you as a person? What do you like to do when you are not in any of these roles?
Frankly speaking, I like this job as a lawyer against the criminal, because when the common man demands my services in Maharashtra, they makes an agitation. Recently, in the last week, one small girl was raped and she was committed a brutal murder. So there was a lot of demand of the public that I should be appointed. And the Chief Minister called me and he said that you please accept. So, frankly speaking, I am an antibiotic of the government, state government. So far as the criminal cases are concerned, I am not saying this with all with proudness all these things. But I take it that this is the common man wants. So I had to discharge my duties very sincerely and honestly.
You come across as a school of thought for a lot of youngsters. How are you sharing your experiences to the next generation?
See, I have already shared you, in fact, but frankly speaking, you see, all right. See, honesty is the first important thing in a life, but discipline is also equally important in our life. If you are, see, mistakes we do commit at some time, but again, we must realize what mistakes we have committed. That is an important thing in our life.
You've had to read a lot because of the profession that you've been in. Any books, authors that have had a lasting influence on you, both personally, professionally?
Now I don't have the time at all to read the other extracurricular books. In my young age, I used to read historical novels, and that too in Marathi, especially.
Any films? Do you like to watch films?
Films, yes, action films, I like it, which doesn't give any botheration or headache to the brain.
That's your way to unwind.
Yes, that is the.
So you are somebody who's from Maharashtra. Maharashtra has our Bollywood industry. Who's your favorite actor, actress, who you would like to talk about, and whose work you like?
Amitabh Bachchan is I like him because his voice and all this command. And after getting the Padma Shri, he is the first Bollywood actor who called me and saying that we shall be. So I like it. That is his broadness. See, there is a thing. Next couple of months, my biopic is also coming, and that Rajkumar Rao is playing my role. So I asked him before doing that biopic, how do you expect that a film on a lawyer will be attractive? He said, yes, there are many court dramas inside the film, but it should be real. If you will take in a very different manner, then I won't agree with it. He said that no, it will be a real facts based on the factually what had happened in the trial.
We'll keenly look forward to the biopic and understand in detail about your life, because this interview is quite short to actually talk about what all you've gone through in your life and the values that you stand for. You spoke about political will earlier on in the program. Have you had the opportunity to meet the Prime Minister? You were modest to say you're not big enough, but ask youngsters who look up to you for the calm demeanor that you have despite handling such sensitive, high-profile cases. One last question about how would you like your tenure in Parliament to be remembered as? What is the major contribution that you have in mind as a nominated member of Parliament?
I had to examine this legal aspect so far as the extradition of the criminal fugitives are concerned. Then secondly, some changes in the criminal law. And thirdly, the delay in the criminal trials. That is a really a very worried subject, and especially accountability in the judiciary. That is also one of the important facets, because when the session court acquits the accused, and when we prefer an appeal against acquittal, that appeal against acquittal comes after 10 years, 15 years in the High Court. Why there was a delay? How that we can curtail that delay? These are the really worried questions, because ultimately the rule of law and see, absolute faith of a common man in the judiciary is the most important thing. The stability of any country depends upon the absolute faith of a common man in the judiciary. If absolute faith goes away, the stability is ruined. So I had to do my endeavor to see how the common man faith in the judiciary as well in the rule of law is to be.
Wonderful to have you, sir, with us on the program. You've spoken to us at length about your career, about your early life, about the experiences that you've had, and most importantly, inspiring the youngsters who are watching us through this program. You've set a vision and you've spoken to us about how you wish to contribute as a member of Parliament. We wish you all the best and hope you succeed in achieving that vision. Thank you once again for taking our time and speaking to us.
Thank you, Teena ji.
Thank you, viewers, for your time as well.